I'm about to do my final video for the evening, and I wanted to talk about the whole black-owned businesses are selling their products to they're selling their products to white-owned corporations who are massive, selling them, and it's just very interesting. That's all I have to say. It's very interesting. I believe in 2017 or 2018 was one of the ones that sold their company to Sundial. Sundial is under Unilever. If you don't know about Unilever, they're the ones who had those nasty little advertisements for their Pears soap. You know, back in the day with a little black boy in the basin, and like he's having his black skin rubbed off because it's showing like, oh, this is how you can clean your skin by using our Pears soap. And then look, oh, you no longer be black and ugly anymore, you be white and clean. And it's just so much madness. To be fair, I do understand that obviously the companies that are under Unilever don't necessarily represent Unilever, but I just find it weird that Pears soap is still under Unilever to this day, when they've seen those nasty little racist advertisements that they used to have back in the day, and you still decided that you was going to have them underneath your company. And I just find it odd that a lot of these products that we actually use are not black owned, or they used to be black owned and they're no longer black owned. And I just find this situation happening more and more often. And we need to be having these conversations about why this is happening. I actually read an article earlier this year. No, a couple of weeks ago. Was it last week or something like that? I read this article where it was talking about this whole situation with black-owned businesses selling their businesses to white-owned corporations, because sometimes they need that extra push. Sometimes they don't have the money to get global recognition. And so what they do is, you know, white-owned company will come along and say, hey, we can help you get this global recognition, but we basically going to, you know, own the majority of your company from now on. You no longer have as much sway in what happens in the company. So this is what's happening. Now, I do believe in that article they also mentioned Carol's daughter. I think it was Carol's daughter, they basically said almost went bankrupt. So she sold her company to a white-owned corporation, and that is how her company was able to survive. But the issue with when you sell your product line to white-owned corporations, what they do is to then start using chemicals that you don't use originally to, you know, drive down the cost of producing these natural hair products. But then the problem is they're no longer as effective for black people. I have never used Carol's daughter. However, I'm obviously on YouTube, so I have been reading a lot of the comments that goes around talking about Sheer Moisture, Cantu, Carol's daughter, etc., etc. And a lot of the consistent comments are that when you sell your product, the lines that are released now to have this mass production, the products no longer are as effective. A lot of people have said about Sheer Moisture that as soon as they sign their company over to Unilever, to Sundial, their products basically decreased in effectiveness, And I find that very peculiar. You said all you said was, oh, we are going to sell this product. I was under the impression that the products would not change. However, that is not what's happened. Basically, what's happened is they've sold their company, and the products have been tampered with to, you know, get their stuff out there. The problem with that is it's no longer as effective for black women and black men who use those products. It's no longer as effective. And you notice that Sheer Moisture had that scandal 2 or 3 years ago, where they had these advertisements and they were showing white women talking about their curly hair. And I was thinking to myself, you mean to tell me you was bullied for these little waves? And it didn't even make any sense. Like, you have these little waves in your hair that's barely nothing, and you are moaning about that. But yet, black women have been begging for years to have products that actually work for them. Then these white-owned greedy corporations who already have massive amounts of wealth that they should not be that they should not have in the first place. You know, capitalism is a big thing, okay? They want to take over. They want to take over black-owned businesses, and then they change the products to make them cheaper, to produce. But then these chemicals that they're adding into these products are not good. Like, you know, some of the products that some of these chemicals that they're using, formaldehyde, you use that when embalming a human being, like a corpse. Why on earth is that in a product that you're using on your hair? Formaldehyde? Are you fucking crazy? You see now, like, you're producing these cheap, watered down, no longer as effective for black people's hair products, when you know full well that you're just doing it to, oh, you mean international? What you mean is so that more white people can use it. That's exactly what you mean. You need to be more specific. I'm glad Sheer Moisture did that advertisement. I'm glad that they got their asses cussed up, because now they did a weak little apology talking about how the advertisement was misconstrued. No, it wasn't. We know who was pulling the strings behind that advertisement. We know who was doing that. Nobody is fooled. So I don't want to hear no mess about how it was misconstrued. No, it wasn't. It doesn't even make any sense. Okay? Money. That's all it is about, money. All for black people to, you know, prosper within their business and not go bankrupt. But at the same time, if you're letting someone come in who will change your products to the point that they're unrecognizable, that is a big issue. People won't buy your products if they can't use them. They will go away from them. But it's okay, because now that white people are using your products, you will no longer have a problem with that, right? You no longer have a problem with that, because as long as you got that money in your pocket, you don't care. You don't care that they're now putting dangerous chemicals into your products, even though some of these products that you was using before, you was making them at home in your kitchen. Yeah, you was making them at home in your kitchen or your laboratory or whatever, and you knew exactly what was going in those products. But you don't know now that Diva Curl is another one that has sold their product line to white-owned corporation, and now they're getting sued because their products are making people's hair fall out. It never used to when it was black-owned, but now that white people have their hands in it, now it's making people's hair fall out, and the curls are changing. The curls are not only changing, but they look damaged. And this is what I am saying. That there is a massive issue with allowing people to purchase your company, and then to purchase such a massive amount of shares in your company that you no longer have a say in how your company is run. And now there's dangerous chemicals on the freaking market when there never used to be. To clarify something, I know that I mentioned Sheer Moisture, Cantu, and Sheer Moisture, Cantu, and Carol's daughter. However, Cantu was never black owned. It's always been white owned. And the problem with Cantu is they added isopropyl alcohol into their products. Now, what isopropyl alcohol is, it's a drying alcohol. It's what they use in hand gels. Now, there's another form of alcohol which is a fatty alcohol, which adds moisture into your hair. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Isopropyl alcohol is a drying alcohol, a rubbing alcohol. That's what they use to formulate hand gels primarily. So this is what I don't understand. Why on earth is Cantu putting isopropyl alcohol into their products? It is a rubbing alcohol. It's a drying agent. It's not supposed to be used on your hair. It's not supposed to be used like on your face. You can't ingest it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's for your hands only. You know, you will also find it in some other products that are to do with, like healing wounds and stuff. It's not supposed to be in your hair at all whatsoever. What needs to be in your hair is fatty alcohols. Fatty alcohols induce moisture, and that's what you need. But isopropyl alcohol, absolutely not. On social media, they shared a list of black-owned natural hair brands that had been created by Yours Naturally 11. So TGIN is still black-owned. I believe Miel Organics is black-owned, but I need to verify that. Hair Rules, Curl Plus Hair, Jane Carter Solution, Eden Bodyworks, Alicate Naturals. Now, Alicate Naturals, I can definitely say is black-owned because I follow the founder and creator and owner on Instagram, and yeah, it's definitely black owned. She is of Jamaican descent, so Caribbean owned business, which I love to see. Brio Geo, Camille Rose Naturals, that one is still definitely black owned as well. Kinky Curly, I believe that one is still black owned. Miss Jessie's Millennium Hair Care, that's owned by Natural 85. Everybody should know Natural 85 by now if you're part of the natural hair community here on YouTube. Natural Club, Oyen Handmade, Curl Theory, Talia Wajid. I've not used Talia Wajid's products, but I think I will in the new year sometime because I've heard great things about the products. And Unique Curl. Luster's, that used to be black owned, but it's no longer black owned. But however, I do believe they have what's it called, a black marketing team. So even though it's not black owned anymore, there is still a black presence there, which is what you need. Is still black owned, I believe. By Made Beautiful, Curl's Dynasty, Curl Junkie, Uncle Funky's Daughter. I know that one's definitely black owned. The Ducks. See, some of these I haven't even heard of, but they do sound interesting. And Nancy's Kitchen Products, Hydra Firma. Oh, I like the title of that. Adua Beauty, Mish Beauty, Breed Love Beauty Co., Bask and Bloom Essentials, Floor and Curl Hair Care, Creamette by Biologics, Ite, Curly Bell, Chocolate Kinks and Curls. So some of these are no longer black owned, but like I said, they do have black people still working within the company that are responsible for the social media, getting people to come and purchase the products. Yeah. That was created by Beauty Boss Lab. So it says hair care brands, black owned. Camille Rose, yes. Miel Organics, but Miel Organics, like, I won't be purchasing from them because after how they treated a black woman who gave a review of their latest product line and said I didn't like it, and then you had your husband call up the woman. Why? Why did you do that? Why did you have your husband call up? Why did you have your husband call up the YouTuber? All she said was the products didn't work for her. And then you wanted to be rude in the comments and say stuff like, oh well, maybe you was using them, maybe you wasn't using them the correct way. And I'm like, I really don't think that's the point. There is also Miss Jessie's Naturalicious Soul Tonicals, Uncle Funky's Pattern Beauty, that's owned by Tracy Ellis Ross. Curls, Design Essentials, Honey Baby Naturals, Sheer Moisture. Sheer Moisture is no longer black owned, remember. It's now owned by Sundial, which is under Unilever. So white people all up and through there. TGIN, thank God it's natural. It is still black owned, and I absolutely adore that product line. Aunt Jackie's has never been black owned, never. They've actually had to clarify this several times. They've never been black owned. However, they are again another company that has a strong black presence throughout. You see, this is the problem with some companies that started off black owned and then get purchased by white corporations. They typically tend to phase out all the black people and then they just do their own thing. But Aunt Jackie's has never been black owned. However, they have a strong black presence. Black owned, so you know, Cantu, African Pride, African Best. Now, even though African Pride and African Best are not black owned, I have to say that the I believe it's African Best olive oil leave-in conditioner was really good. I have to say it. I love products that have got olive oil in it. My hair really loves that. Really loves those kind of products. So yeah, I did like it. But I just decided myself to make a more conscious decision to use and purchase some black owned businesses for my hair care. Like I will still purchase grease, you know, now and again, even though I know for a fact that most people who make grease are actually white. But I find that when it comes to stuff like leave-in conditioner, and hair butters, I prefer to purchase some black on businesses. So Cream of Nature, Dark and Lovely, Do Grow, Dr. Miracles, Let's Jam, Mane and Tail, TCB Afro G, Soul for 8, Eco Style, Carol's Daughter, and The Main Choice. Yeah, The Main Choice used to be black owned, but it's no longer black owned. Now it's also being purchased by white people, and I believe The Main Choice is also another company where people have noticed a change since white people took it over. So you know what I'm saying, yeah. You should make more of a conscious effort to do your own research to find out who is black owned and who isn't black owned. As I am is Asian owned, Asian man owns that company. However, it is really effective. Their products are really effective. I have to admit their products are really effective, especially for my hair because my hair is low porosity and it takes a while to get moisture in. But I've noticed that with products that are heavier, even though it's weird, even products with heavier from like, you know, TGIN and As I Am, they typically tend to work better for my hair. So if I was to find a black owned business that has heavier products, I will be using those as well. Another issue I would have is the fact that the formulations of these products are being changed as soon as white people are purchasing these companies. They are now changing the formula. They're now using cheaper chemicals to produce these products, and then you're noticing that these companies are now getting sued because basically people's hair was dropping out. You're using cheap products and now people's hair is like, it's just falling out all over the place. Like the situation with Diva Curl, people's hair is dropping out left, right and centre. And I'm just like, you didn't think logically before you decided to use these cheaper products. Like you like who are purchasing these products, who are purchasing these companies, you are billionaires. So why are you using cheap products? Because I know you ass can afford it. You ain't gonna go broke for purchasing actual products that will not destroy people's hair, will not destroy people's bodies and health. I know you ass can afford it, so what else are you doing? Start playing with people's lives. Yeah, start playing with people's lives and their hair and their health when you can afford to actually get the proper ingredients. You can afford it. I mean, if these companies that started off from the ground literally had no money, had to struggle to get their products into stores, can get the right kind of product, can get the right kind of ingredients, you can too. And you are billionaires. This is what I'm saying. Capitalism drives people to do madness. And it's also white supremacy. They know full well that black people will gravitate towards these products because we are looking everywhere to get products that will cater to us, cater to how we look, cater to our hair is. And now they're purchasing these products and they're destroying them. And then we're using them on our hair because we're thinking, oh, okay, it's still going to work. And now our hair's dropping out. And your ass can get sued. So all I ask for everybody to do is do their due diligence and don't let anyone, don't let anyone tell you that, oh, you should still be supporting such and such and such. If it's no longer working for you. No, if you're using a product, you've been using it for years and it changes hands from black hands that were taking care of you properly to white hands who don't give a shit about you, and your hair starts falling out. No, stop using it. Stop using it and find a way to sue these people or whatever works best for you, because they can't get away with it they can't get away from doing that foolishness. They can't. All they care about is money. All they care about is earning money. They don't give a shit about the effects it's having on people. They don't. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Honestly, trust me on this. SkingloNafro is telling you, don't let the devil rule you. Don't. End of my YouTube video. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I am finished now. I am finished. So please let me know your thoughts down below. Like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to share. I really want to know your opinions on this whole situation about black-owned businesses that are selling out their companies to white corporations that don't give a shit about the consumer, the customer. They don't. And it's really unfortunate that they consume mass amounts of wealth to get to this position, and then they just forget about everybody else. They shouldn't even be allowed to accumulate those massive amounts of wealth anyway. But what can I say? Anyway, I gone. Bye.